Okay, good morning, everyone. So yesterday we got some couple of trades in with Tesla and waited. Only took one super lotto that didn't work, but anyways, that's fine. So far for today, the market is pretty much trading around this 45.20 area. Okay, now the bank earnings have already been, announced with Bank of America. We still got Goldman set to report, but the key thing here is that, usually Bank of America stock doesn't move, regardless. So the key thing that we need to really see or hear is their guidance, right? And so far, I haven't seen or heard anything that suggests that there's going to be a bad guidance, right? I mean, these banks are making record profits, and pretty much it has been a transition from smaller regional banks into these bigger banks. So they're making more money because they're flourished with deposits. On top of that, as well, most companies are reporting better earnings because during the whole COVID pandemic side of things, a lot of companies, they hired overwhelming amount of staff, and now they're being more economical and pretty much going for the lean approach. So that's why you're seeing a lot of companies beat earnings. Okay, and specifically about Tesla earnings. So you guys do know that I've been buying some calls on this. I think it's a worthy trade for earnings. Pretty much, if you look at the long-term view of this map here, so if you look at the Tesla view, you can see that compared to every other stock that you see, like Netflix, Meta, or whatever, they're trading well beyond their 52-week high. And Tesla is not. The Tesla 52-week high is at 315. Okay, so it still has a lot of opportunity for more upside here. And pretty much you can see that the highest Tesla has ever gone was around that $400 during the split here. Okay, so the getting the 300 call, I just seen that a lot on the hot call list as well. And I said, okay, you know what, might as well take that trade. And the premiums of the upside were pretty much very expensive, but there's a 10 to 20% move priced in the stock right now. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on this and see how it does as well. ENPH is moving strong pre-market as well. It's basically above its 200-day. So this stock still has potential upside to around 217, 220 possible this sometime around. So keep an eye on for this, because that is a huge pull up there. I wouldn't, I'll try to focus on buying something closer to the money here. If you guys read the newsletter, I pretty much gave an idea of where I like the 190 call to be, or around the 195 call. The funny thing is that I gave that trade idea before it started popping pre-market, but now it's up like almost 2% pre-market. Before, when I was looking at it, it was even up, and now it's moving, right? So watch ENPH today. Very possible can test 200. So and the stock is start to really move here. Okay, another stock that really flourished yesterday was LRCX. I was looking at this stock very carefully, actually, above this breakout, because I got an alert. The problem here is very hard to get a fill at a price that you like it at, right? So it's opportunity cost. Do you remain patient and wait for that nice price, or do you force a trade? And I didn't want to force a trade because there was a lot of economic stuff happening. And, when we're more carefully and calculated, we definitely do a lot better. Okay, and I've seen a lot of growth in the people's accounts when I wait for those trades and give you guys the predetermined trades. So those have been working. So we couldn't chase this one, unfortunately, but it did move very nicely here. Okay, it could probably head towards the 685-ish level, so a potential 20% upside. Now, keep in mind a couple of catalysts with the semiconductor stocks. So first thing is the most notable news: AMD got a downgrade. Okay, so if you guys look at AMD, it got a downgrade today. It's down slightly pre-market here. It's not really affecting Nvidia's earnings at all. Sorry, not their earnings, but it's not affecting their performance. Nvidia is still doing very well. Okay, this stock, the premiums are ludicrous right now, and they're just going to keep getting more and more expensive. If you look at the 500 call, that was going for $1.5 to $2. So very expensive, even for a small account, right? So if you look at the overall upside necessary for that, based on its pre-market move, right, it needs around a 7% upside in order for you to really hold those premiums. So a big pop necessary, required. Another stock that potentially can move is Shop. You know, I don't normally play this stock, but I'm going to be looking at it as well. Microsoft has pretty much, if you guys seen me, what I did. So this stock was profitable, but I scaled the position because it's not really moving much near its 52-week high. And I pretty much thought, okay, you know what? Why not focus that capital somewhere else? So that's what we did there. Now, since I spoke a little bit about the stocks, I want to go into detail about SPX, the thing that everyone wants to hear about. So if you guys seen the levels have already been published, okay? But we're close to the extreme bull case where, you know, we're top of the 45.50 mark. Very tough level to break through that level, so just keep that in mind. But the market looks like it may want to trail towards new all-time highs, and we're pretty much setting up a move for that specific level here. Okay, if you guys look at the range right now, in the report, I mentioned that there's a 32-point range between level 1 bullish and level 1 bearish. Okay, so if you guys look at the levels, right now SPX is pretty much trading around 45.20 here. The level 1 is at 45.40, which is also at the gamma level, and pretty much 45.50 level 2, and level 3 is at 45.55. Okay, very hard to argue that we're going to see level 3 today, especially even this specific level. So if we do hit this level, look at the time that we hit it. If we hit it early on, then most likely I think there'll probably going to be a strong rejection or sometime. But if we hit it around lunchtime, then it's a slow grind. You have to look at the overall trend, right? And you have to view at what point do we hit the lower WAP. Okay, if there is a point in time we hit the lower WAP, that means there is some sort of downside volatility where the market wants to test the lower bounds of the range. Okay, that's very important. That's one thing I really do. If we don't see that range hit at all, then pretty much the market's going to be trending higher. Okay, and if we do see a trend break beyond that, you know, that's pretty much what's going to happen, right? So yesterday I went against that rule and tried to play the rejection, and pretty much I did. My calculations were right. And the funny thing was, I even said it's not going to be worth a dip. Like it's not going to be something that you hold. You pretty much scalp it, and that the market did fall exactly at 45.20 by over almost 8-9 points. Okay, but I timed the position wrong, and pretty much I jumped in when I should have had waited a little bit more, because my first entry thought it was okay, maybe by $1. My second point of view was at 50 cents. If we got in at 50 cents, which it did hit, then you would have had an easy double, right? So that was the mistake I made on my end. I didn't listen carefully to my rules, but that's fine, because the good thing I did about that is that my analysis was right, and B, pretty much the the scale on that was so small that it was like a $800 trade, right? So it was like a super lotto. So we're not hurting because of it. But anyways, a lot of the other plays, the Teslas, we're up like 2-3 grand, and that was moving, and Meta as well. That was 100%, but we scaled back, already took profits last week. Was fun. So watch to see this 45-40. If we don't hit it, SPX is gonna be hard to play. Downside 45-10 is gonna be your level one bearish. Okay, but so far, if you look at the market center report, we went over it. It's going to be a chop day, so I'm going to be waiting a lot for the SPX levels and so forth, and we're just going to be trading calmly, okay? Because right now, my estimation is that the market moves higher during the intraday and moves in the red pre-market, which we see right now. So nothing worthy to swing right now. Just pretty much remain patient and wait for the key setups. Okay, we got Tesla earnings, we got all that. So bulk of my concentration is going to be focused around that time. Okay, another important thing here as well is Wednesday we got the Great Britain CPI report. Okay, so that's very important here. The housing starts may also be an important thing to get an idea of how inflation is. We got the unemployment numbers and pretty much it. Okay, so this week there's not a lot of stuff happening except the earnings. And next week, that's when the FOMC statement is going to happen. Okay, so the housing starts here that may move the market, and starting Wednesday, the Great Britain CPI also very important. Okay, guys. So other than that, not much to go off right now, but just hold your horses. There will be some plays that we're going to be looking at, and we're going to see how semiconductors go, how banks do. If banks are very strong, hard for market to crater, and vice versa. Okay, so we also want to see if they're buying techs, because if they're really like bank earnings, then they're pretty much going to do a transition. Okay, so hopefully that does not happen today. So regardless, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoy the call. I know it doesn't seem so enthusiastic for now, but pretty much we just got to wait for our plays to come in fruition. But so far, our sentiment report has been accurate, and we want to see if it continues to remain accurate. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the chat. Let's get that money.